Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you how to do a 90-ish% fix on some faded brake calipers. So the brake calipers on the car, my 997.2 Turbo S, it looked like the previous owner used some very harsh wheel cleaner or something acidic where it ate into the clear coat and the clear coat started to peel and flake off. So it left a very dull looking yellow matte finish instead of the bright gloss finish that it was intended to have. So today what I'm going to do is prep these calipers and then I'm going to do a re-clear with the existing paint that's on there. So we're not going to do actually any yellow painting, we're just going to do a new clear coat. But in order to do that, we have to clean, prep, and remove any excess clear coat that is still on the caliper to prep and do a new coat for the clear. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm doing is taking my compressor and my air hose and I am blowing off all of the loose clear coat. A lot of it was able to just be blown off with high pressure air because it was just that loose and flaking that badly. So that's the first step, and that way I'm not cleaning areas that are gonna be removed anyway. So that's the first step to prepping these calipers. Now that I've blown all the clear coat off, I've soaked these in just some general wheel and tire cleaner. I don't want to use anything super harsh while it's soaking. I do have some brake cleaner here for some of the more caked on things. A lot of these, in here, in some of these deeper areas, has built up brake dust and residue that has never really been cleaned properly. So it's really stuck on there, and brake cleaner is pretty much the only way. And I have a bunch of swabs that I'm using as well to get into these tight areas. All right, so what I'm doing is 3 to 4 coats of the high temp VHT caliper paint. You want to lay it on really thin. I did the other side first as a practice side before filming this, and I did go a tiny bit thick, so there was a run or two that I had to touch up, and I may end up even going back and wet sanding those to see if I can smooth it out even a little bit more. But this is 1 coat, so I'm doing 1 thin coat, 10-minute wait, 1 thin coat, 10-minute wait, and then another thin coat after another 10. So that's basically what it says on the can. So that's my plan here. And obviously taped everything off. You don't want to get paint, in your inside your calipers or on your pads, or you just don't really want to get it anywhere that it's not supposed to be, especially the vehicle, the car. Overspray, this stuff is very misty. It leaves a lot of residue, so you want to be careful. Definitely make sure that you tape off your car, because if you don't, you will get some overspray on your fenders, and then you'll have to go back and clean that up. So that's what I'm doing right now. It already looks a heck of a lot better from the way it did before. That chalky yellow immediately cleans up, and obviously because it's a gloss paint, but it all blends together really nicely. So I'm pretty happy with it so far, and I'll show you the end result. All right guys, so that is 4 coats on the calipers now. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. This was a $10 can of caliper paint on Amazon, and for a fraction of the cost to do a full refinish on these calipers, they look 80 to 90% better. They're obviously not perfect. When you get really close, you can see where the clear coat lines still are, but you really have to know what you're looking for and be looking for it. So I'm really happy with this. I would highly recommend it to anybody who's got just the clear coat failing on their calipers. You can definitely make them look, like I said, 80 to 90% better as long as you prep them properly and do this whole process. Probably took about 4 hours just to get these calipers prepped. That was the hardest part. There was so much built up grime and stuff on here from the previous owner that I really had to use some elbow grease. I ended up actually using some 1500 grit sandpaper and doing a wet sand on this. So the original clip that I had filmed for the outro of this video, somehow the audio went missing from that clip. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but refilming it now in a different outfit right before I edit and post this. So just to wrap up this video, what I did in summary was clean up the calipers. My clear coat was just so loose that I was able to blow it off with high pressure air, around 100 PSI, just through an air gun. I don't know the nozzle size, but if your clear coat is that loose, it should fly right off with some compressed air. If it's not, you may have to chip at it a little bit with maybe some sort of a plastic tool, or just scrub it pretty good, but you don't want to damage that base coat if you just want to do the clear remedy, which is what I did here. You may also have to use some sandpaper. So I did do a wet sand with some 1500 grit sandpaper. I think you'd be okay anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 grit. Anywhere in that range is probably just fine if you're just going to do a wet sand on the clear coat there. Really, the benefit of that was sanding down some of the edges where I couldn't get all the clear coat off to blend it in to areas where there was no clear coat. So that way when I put the clear coat on again, that there weren't lines going through the caliper of old and new clear coat, if that makes sense. So it just helped make it more smooth and more even finish, as well as clean up any additional grease and dirt that I couldn't get using generic wheel cleaner or brake cleaner. So really, it's all in the prep. The actual spraying is super easy. It's really hard to screw up. Like I said, I did do a little aggressive on the first coat on accident, so I had some runs, had to go back and clean that up. But as long as you're going light, you can always add more, so don't worry too much about that. It's all about the prep. Looks amazing. As you probably saw in some of the video clips, it looks like brand new, and I can't even find some of the old seams like I was just talking about, because I think I did a pretty decent job prepping it. So like I said, all in the prep, super easy, you know, $15 fix if you're looking to do something like this versus spending $1,000 to have them refinished somewhere else. So it's a great fix on the quick and on the cheap if you're really not trying to do anything else, and I highly recommend it. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try to address them. It's a pretty straightforward process, but I hope this video helped with that. I know I was trying to find answers on the internet and on the forums, and there's not a ton of info out there on what the results really look like. So I thought that this would be a useful video for some of you, and it seems to be a common issue. So like I said, I hope this was a helpful video for you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.